So do you actually know what your end game is here if you're, I don't know, in sneaker YouTube?
I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see. Yeah. These days I don't worry about much. I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl TJ back with another video talks with TJ, aka TJ2 Swoosh Chains. I hope you are having a great day. So let's just hop into this video because before I even decided to finally record and make this, it was already on my calendar for May, but I figured I might as well just move it up to April because I think it actually is very fitting right now with everything going on. We're all changing, we're all adapting, we're all evolving, we're all, if you're smart, developing a new sense of self-awareness of where you stand, what deserves your time, your energy, and the direction, I think, of where things may be headed. That could be for you personally, that could be professionally for sure. And if you are in a situation where you are not working right now, I am terribly sorry about that. I do hope this all turns around very, very soon. But I think it also stands for us to be self-aware, you know, with this whole YouTube thing. If you're doing sneaker YouTube or you're doing YouTube in general, what exactly are you trying to get from it? Because, you know, we have these different little niches in YouTube itself. So I say this all the time. I don't just consume sneaker YouTube content. There are actually times where I shy away from all of this outside of just uploading my videos and engaging with you all. And I will instead focus only on, you know, other things, right? There are commentary communities that focus, you know, they aren't based on consumerism, because that's what this really is. It's based on us usually picking up something, an item, right? Now, this is something that I picked up. It's not a sneaker, and I will show you guys this, but yeah, not a sneaker, but it's based on us buying stuff and giving you our personal opinion, our thoughts, maybe how we would style it. And then we go from there, and that's where the conversation has started. But now we're in a whole new area. We're in a new arena of life here because you can't physically go to the store to pick things up. And now bots have reigned supreme for a while, and they are still very much so doing that online. So you are now fighting with the bots to be able to get shoes for these online releases, you know, online, whether it be through Sneakers app, Champs, Foot Locker, Foot Action, Finish Line, sneakers and stuff overseas. It doesn't matter. You are now in a fight with computers, and they're always going to be usually smarter and faster than us. So it becomes luck of the draw if you get the shoe you want or if you don't get the shoe you want. So does that mean that you totally scrap whatever plans you had for your channel? Do you need to revamp what you plan to do? And that may mean changing your expectations. And that's where frustration, I think, comes in, because when you have expectations, right? And I've said this before, you have expectations, and then you have an experience that you actually go through. When it doesn't match up right there with what you expected, that's where you drop all the way down and you then experience frustration. And I think that's why having you should always have goals, but expecting things from this, I don't think that's the way to go. And let's just touch on a few, you know, questions I may have. Now, again, whatever your goal is, your focus is to be in this space, do it. Some of you are going to get up here and you just want to talk about shoes. And a lot of us just start that way. Hey, I just want to show you my shoes. I love shoes. You love shoes. Let's talk about them. That's what a lot of us do. That's how we get started. And then some don't. I think some hop in here because they already see those who have become successful via presenting themselves in their shoes in front of a camera or a phone, and they think, oh, I want to do that because it makes money. Now, going into this for the sole purpose of trying to get money, you're spending money as it is just to step into this place. And I just feel like there are always other ways in which you could do it, because you do need to be self-aware, right? Are you good in front of a camera? Are you able to captivate and hold an audience? And are you going to offer me anything that I can't get from somewhere else that also provides higher production, quality, value, and much more? And if you can't, then maybe this is not for you. And that's just something I think you have to be self-aware of, right? There are people who are great when it comes to putting things down on paper. There are others who are great at doing just audio. So you may do a podcast where there actually isn't this whole, it's a podcast, but you're visually in front of people. And then there's those of us who are just right in front of a camera and we absolutely love it. So you do need to be self-aware, at least, of what's going to be the best delivery for yourself, not just based on what you see around you. But if you're just hopping in this for the money, I would just say back up a little bit. So you have to think, why exactly am I choosing to do this, right? So are you here because you want to be seated shoes? I'm not gonna lie, who doesn't want free stuff? I've been the recipient of free things before, and it's very, very nice. I will one day get up here and probably do a video on all of the items I've received graciously and very grateful from Nike for. But, you know, it is awesome to be seated things for sure. But is that the sole purpose of you getting up here? Because that may never, ever happen. There are people who have done this for years. They have massive channels in relation to, I guess, a lot of the rest of our channels, and they still have never, ever, ever received a free shoe, and they may never, ever receive a free shoe from one of these bigger retailer brands. And just keep that in mind, right? Like, that may never happen. I don't care how big you grow, and I don't care how much you do. It just may not happen. Doesn't mean there's anything against you, just it may not happen. Second, when it comes to being up here, are brand deals your goal? And when I say brand deals, I mean you are actually like paid for what you are doing, not the exchange of merch for your services or your promotion. And that's how we all start. But those are two different things, right? So to be sent an actual item and then you choose to do a video on it, that's totally different than a brand deal in which you are sponsored. So just be aware of that. Something is sponsored, it means you're actually paid for it, and I don't just mean through merch. So is that your goal? Because you can get deals through a number of different places. I think you do need to be very aware that it needs to be true to you. It needs to always come from a place of integrity. And not to mention, it needs to be actually authentic to you. If it's not something you would normally use, like, or wear, then maybe don't promote that to those that support you. Because believe it or not, people do start to take your word for stuff. Like, I don't know why y'all be taking my word for stuff sometimes. Like, everything is subjective. It's your style. If you love it, rock it. If you don't. People will get up here and say, I don't like X, Y, and Z that you bought. That's cool. It wasn't from your bank account. It was from mine. So therefore I bought it and I will wear it. So be mindful of that. If you want to do, if your goal is brand deals, how you also market and present yourself will play a huge factor in that. All right. So you're not trying to market yourself for your friends who aren't signing any checks. You're trying to market yourself for people who are in a position of power. So be aware of that when you're involving yourself in X, Y, and Z on the internet. Okay. That's just, I'm gonna leave that there. Do you want to use this as a jump off platform because you want to host, moderate different events, whether they be on the internet or if they are done live? This is a great way to be able to do that, to build your brand, to build your presence. I think you do end up going about that differently, right? And I'm not necessarily I don't know how you would necessarily go about that because that's not my goal, but you would probably go about that differently. And I would think you actually need to cross promote on different platforms. So that very well may be TikTok, and that may be Instagram, and that may be Facebook, and that may be here. And that's a lot. Like, that's why there are teams that do that for bigger brands. That's not my goal per se, but I can understand if that's what some people are up here for. And then finally, are you trying to quit your day job and hop up here? Ask yourself that. I think that is the goal of some people. They want to quit their day job and just do sneaker YouTube. But for the amount of people that do that, look at that percentage in relation to everybody that gets up here with a camera or a phone and they start talking about shoes. It's pretty small. I'm not saying dreams don't come true, but it's pretty small. So maybe don't set yourself up for that type of disappointment if you can't handle that reality, that very well might not happen, right? Because more likely than not, you are going to have to go through a number of different things to first break through in this space. Second, to continue to hold people attention. And then based on how you first held their attention will dictate a lot. If you started it by getting early shoes, you're going to have to keep doing that. And we have no idea how the world is going to change right now with everything. But if you started by early shoes, you're probably going to have to keep that up. And if that's as unique as you get, I don't know how far that can carry you. Hopefully far. I don't know how far that can carry you. And I don't know if that's going to sustain your actual income, because we're talking about like a real livelihood. So you need to be able to sustain what, $50,000 maybe a year, depending on debt payments and things you want to do in terms of saving and 401k investments and IRAs and all of that. That's not easy to come by either. So again, this isn't to say I think any goal or direction is wrong. I just think you need to be aware what is the reason that you're getting into this, because right now more than ever, people are finding out if their content, if their focus, if their purpose is derived or dependent on an external factor they can't control. There may be only so long you can keep that up, and so long before you become burnt out from it and you have to then go a different direction. All right. Just wanted to start a discussion so you guys can comment below. What do you think? And if you are thinking about getting into this, do you know what your direction will be? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace out.